And welcome to episode 58 of the Gaslec podcast. And thank you very much indeed for listening and for watching, if you're watching on YouTube or on Spotify video. We've managed to get into the FeedSpot top 30 plumbing podcasts. And as I record this, we was actually at number 6 in the whole country of all the plumbing and heating podcasts in the country. So thank you very much indeed for listening, guys, and all for your support as well. So in this week's episode, we're going to be talking about some Facebook conversations I've been having to do with contracting. We had a bit of an incident where I got some stuff in my air, somebody else's stuff in my air from a leaky soil pipe, and how that come around. And a few things about the plumbing and heating industry that will hopefully help us plumbers out there and streamline a few things as well. But first of all, here's my friend Sean to tell you a bit more about the podcast. Are you a new person coming into plumbing and heating? Are you a homeowner that likes a bit of DIY? Or are you a business owner and wanted a bit more knowledge before you make some decisions on your plumbing and heating? Stay tuned to the podcast and hopefully we'll be able to help you out with some of your questions. And thank you very much indeed, guys. So I got involved in a conversation. I know these are absolutely lethal on Facebook. It was on a plumbing Facebook group. And a guy was in another city somewhere else. And he was talking about how he has been offered some contract work. And he thinks that the hourly rate was too low. And I was just trying to get across to him that actually what the hourly rate is rather here nor there. It's when you're running a business like we do here, and we have a few contractors and we have a majority of the staff are PAYE here, which is great. And that enables us to really invest in the people, and we could be fair to them and give them the holiday pay and the sick pay and the compassionate leave if they need it as well for their family members. But as a contractor, you don't get any of that. You're in for that, you do that, I'll pay you for that, and off you go again. So that's really sort of black and white how it all is. But when we was talking about on this Facebook group about contracting, he was being offered, he's out there in the public domain, he was being offered £22 per hour. And my conversation was, well, you're being offered £22 an hour, is that enough? So whatever your costs are, whatever the terms and conditions, you've got use your own tools, your own van, your own fuel, whatever it'll be, I don't know, the distances that you got to do, what you're being expected to be able to actually complete as well, what tasks. So there's lots of factors involved in it all. But he was sort of getting hung up on, and other people were coming in and saying, oh, you know, you should be earning this and you should be earning that and all the rest of it. But what I was trying to get through to him, he doesn't take any of the risks when it comes to the big client at the end not paying. He doesn't have to go out and find that work because he's just been given on a plate. So he doesn't have to do all the paperwork and all the stuff that goes on behind the scenes. Now, I know nothing about this guy and about where he is and what he's come from. So did he have a big business? Is he just always been a one-man band? What's his experience? I don't know all of that. But really, I was just trying to get through to him is that it doesn't really matter about the amount that you're paid, but is it enough? You know, is there going to be a quality of life to what you're going to be doing for them, that you're going to be able to spend more time with your family? Are they going to give you every Friday off so you can go and do your own stuff, for instance, or every Monday or whatever it is? So there's lots of factors, but they were just getting hell bent on this 22 quid an hour sort of part of the conversation. So really, if you are in that situation there, and you've done your plumbing and you've done you've got some experience behind you and stuff, and you get offered a bit of contract work, just always remember on the backside of what you do, what needs to happen, to be able to say, go to this place and do that. There's a lot that goes on. There's a lot of admin. There's a lot of risk as well that we will have to take on board to be able to give you that end result there. So what I'm trying to get at really is just think of the bigger picture. And sometimes, you know, greedy little pigs don't get any dinner. So, and there's a reason why potentially he might be wanting to go contracting is because his own work has dried up or he doesn't really want to put the legwork in. And actually that plays on, and I won't mention any names here because I don't have permission to talk about the exact details. But I have a friend of mine, and let's say he's in the servicing trade industry. He's not within plumbing and heating. And he was sort of weighing up the costs of running his own business and the amount of time that he puts in to within all the quoting and all the admin and the VAT returns, to the actual amount of money that he's actually earning from that, and then breaking it down, because we get paid, I don't know, let's say a job's worth 100 quid, but actually what goes into getting that 100 quid, and then what we have to do after to process that 100 quid. And where it all goes. And he really did struggle with all of that. And he's actually now gone out and got himself a full-time job for the moment, working PAYE for somebody else within his industry doing what he's doing. And that really does sort of play into this £22 highlighting thing. You know, is it enough? If it's not enough, it's not enough. And if your costs are a lot more than that, or they expect you to do an 8-hour day with a 4 hours amount of travelling, then that's absolutely fine. You know, if you've got to supply your own fuel, your own vehicle, you know, you can play that all in there. But yeah, I just thought I'd share that little story there with you. So, what else have I been doing? So, how did I get poo in my hair? So, we got called out to a new, I won't go into too many details. I don't want to give away the exact industry that they're in. But we went to a new commercial client, and they're in the care sector, let's just say. And they had a incident where somebody had climbed onto a soil pipe on the first floor. So it's actually quite high up, and luckily the person didn't crash to the floor and get seriously injured on the concrete. But as they stood on it, they broke a few soil clips, and they basically pulled the soil pipe out. Now, when I went round there to quote for it, what they didn't do is stop using that toilet. They carried on. And so there was, I won't go into the exact details. I don't know what time you may be listening or watching to this video, but let's just say there was some contents of the pipe that was coming out of the pipe, let's just say. And as I walked underneath out of the back door, I got a massive slap on the back of the head. And those that know me know that right here it's not too bad, but at the back it's a little bit warm and shiny, let's just say. And I had a big slap of something awful on the back of my head, and I had to carry on the rest of the quotation with the client, knowing that I had something horrible on the back of my head. And I had to use because I was wearing a t-shirt, I always wear t-shirts, and I had to use part of my t-shirt to rub my head, and then I got into the van and got the alcohol gel out, and then liberally applying it until I got back to the office and get it all cleaned up, which is funny for some. It wasn't for me at the time, but there we are. So, hay fever starting. So I've got an idea for a few things that could help us in the industry and what we do. So I've got my teleprompter up and running. I've got my new computer here. I had all the issues with audio quality, plugging bits and bobs in with laptops. So hopefully that is now long gone, and been investing in all this new little bit of kit here for the podcast. So do you think in F-gas, if you want to go and buy, so you want to buy an air conditioner, you want to go and buy something within F-gas, you can't actually buy it. So you've got to prove to the supplier that you are accredited, and you've done your training, you passed the courses, and you're accredited with a competent person scheme like RefCom that we are, that you can actually buy air conditioning products and gas as well. Do you think that in the normal gas safe, do you think you need to prove to gas safe that you're gas safe registered to buy parts? So yeah, that was actually a really interesting fact that, you know, through the refrigeration industry, there's been lots and lots of work to get that, to tie it all down. And that's only come on in the last year or so that's been brought in. So should we have that with gas as well? So that's just an interesting fact there, trying to compare apples and apples there rather than the apples and pears. I'm planning on doing a lot more YouTube filming. My videos have been really slow in the recent weeks and months. We've had so much to do here. We've come out of the winter season into the summer season, and it gets just as busy as we transfer over. But what we find is a lot more proactive planned stuff that goes ahead. So we've booked a job in for the end of August. The guy's planning because he's got his time off from work, and it's He's lining up with the end of his holiday. He's coming back. He's got a few days. So let's get that job booked in for him. So we have a lot more of that. So actually, in a weird way, we're actually busier in the summer with a longer sort of order book, as it were, than we are in the winter, where it's predominantly proactive and we're rushing around like blue bum flies. So hopefully I can get some of my YouTube videos being filmed and my sort of how-tos and stuff, and get those back on board again. We've been doing a lot of work here. I'm actually at Gaslec Towers number 6, but rather than the number 7 that we started off in next door. So I've got this little area set up for the podcast, and I'm going to be setting up a little YouTube filming area as well. So I'm doing some of my little how-to videos. So I'm going to get that done downstairs and create a little corner for that and make it a bit of a dedicated place. So it's a bit easier, because at the moment I've got to set a camera up, and is it raining outside? What can I do? What about this? What about that? So that'll make things really, really easy for us moving forwards as well. What have we got? So 3 things that I think that could make the plumbing industry easier. So at the moment, we don't have any sort of national standardised paperwork and certification. So we go and do a gas certificate, and we issue that we use an electronic system called Powered Now. We did use Gas Engineer software, but it really wasn't sort of expanding, and we could grow with it as fast as we were. So some of the things that we really use a lot is that when we go to a job and we come to your home, we push a button on the app, and it then sends you a text message and an email to say that we're on our way, and it goes onto Google Maps, and it works out roughly how long we're going to take. So that then helps us notify the customer we're on our way, and if they need to finish their cup of tea or put their sandwich down, whatever they need to do, they can then get rid of us, or put the cats and the dogs away, whatever they need to do, because they've got a rough idea. And so, but with that though, we go and issue a gas certificate, and the amount of times that people have come to us and said, I've had my boiler landlord check done, boiler service done, and I don't know when it was done. Can you check? Well, we can't. Because everybody has their own system. They may even be using paper and handwritten paper records, which we only do in an emergency, really. But we do everything electronic, so it's all done and dusted. It's all in one place. But that would be a good idea, that we could bring everything together. And every boiler manufacturer has a slightly different way of registering boilers and benchmarks. Could we actually bring that together, maybe via Gasafe, and then maybe a central portal with those? And I know there's lots of negativity around the Gasafe portal over the years and how Gasafe is run, but we'll put that to one side for now. But maybe that will be a lot easier. And some stuff that we have to register with building control, then you have to go through the independent, the councils directly, and so the whole thing gets a little bit messy and a bit go here, go over there. Now, good job for us here. We have Anne in the office that's with us full time. So a lot of that stuff I don't have to deal with anymore because we're getting busier doing other stuff. But if you're a one-person band, I should say these days, and you're out there and you're trying to do your paperwork and you're trying to do the work and you're trying to do all your admin and your quotations and stuff like that, this sort of stuff can really, really take up a lot of time. And maybe centralising everything can actually really, really help. So what else have we got to go? So I think bringing everything together would be great. Better access to parts, especially in an emergency. So when we've got... So we come to somebody's house, and predominantly we don't work weekends, but we turn up to somebody's house and it's 5:01, and all the merchants out there, or most of the merchants, at 4:59, they've got the finger on the light switch ready to turn it off to go out the door. And that's absolutely fine. That's their contract and that's how they work. But we're getting to that point, and we're in the middle of the winter season. It's all reactive work, and we need a sensor or a diverter or a pump or whatever it'll be, PCB, to get that back up and running again. via people like Wolseley and City Plumbing have their own internal distribution system that delivers straight to their lock boxes outside the merchants, which is great. And sometimes you can order at 4:45 and it'll be there at 3 a.m. So when you turn up at 7:30 in the morning, it's there waiting for you, which is absolutely fantastic. But I wonder if there was a way of doing like drop boxing. So there'd be like the old Amazon lockers. Now they've been around for a long time. I can tell you that now. Going back to my Sky days back in sort of 2000, 25 years ago, we was dropping off parts that have been ordered, not to the branches because they shut them all down in 2000, but sending them out to these drop boxes, or they used to call it deep field back in the day, and nowadays we call them the Amazon lockers. Could there be a way that we could electronically, via all of our accounts and stuff, with Wolseley, with City, with HPS, with Plumbase and all the big nationals, we could actually order something during the evening up to a cut-off, and it'll actually be dropped off during the night into a box for us to collect, a bit like the Amazon model. I do know that people like I know we just spoke about it, but people like Amazon do actually sell boiler parts, and potentially I've never actually done it through there, but could actually do that for us. But if we start to talk about like a regulated industry a bit more, then potentially that'd have to stop. So yeah, maybe that would be a greater method of doing it. I know BES, if you can order up to 8 p.m. and actually get before 10:30 delivery the next day. So they're a national commercial and domestic sort of plumbing and heating company. They're not the cheapest out there, but if you need something, you need a 100 mil fitting and they've got it in stock, you can have it there by tomorrow morning at 10:30, which is really, really good. So that was just really a bit of a thought there on that one. And so the third one on my list really is realistic expectations from customers, and sometimes the builders as well. And sometimes the builders are the most difficult people to deal with. And we deal with very, very little builders these days because of the demands they can make on us. And one of the stories I think I might have shared before was a builder said, I need you here tomorrow to take the pipes out of the ceiling and to bring it down into the boiler location. And we're in the middle of the winter, and I said, I can't do tomorrow, we're too busy, we'll do the following. And the reply was, it was something like 12 o'clock tomorrow, the ceiling's being boarded and plastered. So if you're not here, you're going to have to dig it all out yourself and then make the ceiling good again, because we're not waiting for you. And that really is a sort of a bit of a stereotypical approach on a lot of builders. So we don't tend to work for a lot of builders. And if you've got a great building you can work with, there's a few that we do, but the majority that we don't locally. So sometimes it's dealing with the expectations. How long will it take? Can you just pop in and do it tomorrow? And that sort of stuff. When you've already made commitments to other people and they want you to drop that. And then always say the question is, okay, I'll book it in with you. And if someone says the same, shall I just drop you and turn around and go to them? I'll just end up going around in circles, wouldn't we, all the day? So, if we say we're going to be there, we're going to be there. We do get commercial call outs and we do sort of get them in as best we can and do juggle things around, but we can't just drop everything and go. And one thing we need to also remember is that with that builder, you're sort of only there for, unless there's another sort of relationship you got with them, you're only there for that job. And the next job, you may not ever see them again. So you jump through hoops and you go through barriers and you move the world for them. And all of a sudden on the next job, you see it on Facebook and they've done a lovely job and you're nowhere to be seen and not heard of because they've used somebody else. So that loyalty, you think you're putting the loyalty into the job and you don't get it back on that there either. So maybe we should talk to the customers about maybe setting up some sort of prep videos and checklists to try and bring this expectation down for the clients when we're dealing with customers directly. And now I do love a video. So when we're doing quotes and stuff, we ask the client to send in videos. And if I'm around doing a quotation for a client, I'll take pictures of stuff. If we're doing a boiler, I'll take a picture of the brickwork and save it on our system, so we know what the colour of the bricks are or the little pattern on the bricks, so we come to match them in. And certainly if it's going to be a couple of 3 months time, that's a lot of scrolling through pictures on my phone. So we can start bringing that in and just sort of confirming conversations really with them as well. So yeah, sort of planning with the clients there. And really, we're tradespeople, we're not magicians, although sometimes we do feel like we need to be both and pull rabbits out of hats and bits and pieces. So last week, apart from the perm, we completed 49 jobs in total, which is absolutely amazing, and the team really did smash it. So I'm really proud of where we've come as a company and where we're going to be going to and what we're achieving. So I'm really happy about that. So next week we're fully booked as well, and this time of year, as I said, people are planning in lots of works rather than reacting, so that's all lovely. We've got this new Unit 6 coming on board. We've got some big works going on to expand number 7. I keep pointing because it's the other side of the wall. So we've got some bit more expansion and remodelling to do in number 7. So I'm working sort of most evenings late, trying to get bits and pieces done in 6, so we can give us a bit of space to help us when it comes into 7. And then we've got a whole weekend of churning it all over as well, which is going to be absolutely great. So that concludes really this week's episode of the podcast. So hopefully you got some value from it. Thank you very much indeed for listening and for watching as well. And as I said, on Spotify Premium and on our YouTube. And if you've made it all the way to the end of the video, thank you. We did do a giveaway last week, so please do watch the video all the way to the end, or the audio side. Because this is where I'm going to start doing my little giveaways for those loyal people like yourselves that watch it to the end. So we'll be doing a draw. This is Tuesday the 10th of June. This will be going out. So we've got giving away a £25 Amazon gift voucher. So that draw will be done this week. Done today, sorry, on the Tuesday the 10th. So thank you very much indeed once again. You take care. Have a fantastic week. Any questions you want answered, email us at podcast@gaslec.net. Take care. Goodbye.